Howdy guys, Gnoblar here with another Eldar Titan update video for you. Before I get into what I've been doing today, which has mainly been finishing off construction of the Revenant, I just thought I'd finish off showing you all the pieces for the Phantom laid out to dry. Where we left it in the last video was obviously I'd cleaned all the flash, the extra bits of resin, the sprue really, that had come with the model, clipped all those off, filed everything down, and then put these in a bath of warm soapy water, changed the water a couple of times and just left them overnight so that all the grease, basically, if you remember, there was an oily residue on all the pieces, which is fairly common with resin models, especially for Forge World. The residue is there to they put that on to make the casting process a little easier. The pieces come out of the mould a lot better, a lot cleaner, a lot sharper. So basically it falls to us to clean that grease off before we start gluing and painting it, the model. So yeah, here are all the pieces for the Phantom. Just wanted to give you all a quick shot of all the pieces laid out together, and I suppose I wanted a shot of all the pieces as well for archive purposes. But yeah, so they're all in it. They're in a bit of an order. So you have the feet in many pieces on the left there. They're actually in, I think it's about 20 pieces altogether for the feet. They're going to be quite fiddly to assemble. But that's always the way with Eldar Titans. The feet and the legs are kind of 80% of the model, so most of the work is in the feet, as you'd expect. So the feet, the legs, shoulders, and then armour plates round about here. The cockpit and head section in the back there. The hollow fins for the back, along with the torso, lower torso, waist and pelvis sections here. This section is how the legs attach to the torso. A couple of arms and hands. And then the two weapons at the moment. I've got the D cannon and the pulsar, and I think those are elbow joints. Just a quick note for anyone who is thinking about getting a Phantom: the hands. If you are planning on magnetising the weapons, don't just magnetise where the weapon meets the arm of the Phantom. You will need to magnetise the wrists that these hands come on, because these don't come when you buy a D cannon. You do not get a hand. The two hands come with a Phantom, and you only get two. So if you ever want an extra hand, like if I was to glue that onto the D cannon and then glue that onto the pulsar and then magnetise those arms, if I ever bought another weapon, like say the close combat weapon that Forge World released recently, it wouldn't come with a hand, and I wouldn't have another hand to put on it. So that's something to think about. Just keep the hands separate, magnetise them. It's easy enough so that they just clip in and clip out, but keep the hands separate because you only ever get two unless you buy another Phantom. So yeah, quick piece of advice there. But enough of the Phantom. Over to what I've been working on for the past day since the Phantom bits have been drying. Whilst I can't do anything with them, I have pretty much finished assembling the Revenant. Everything that's going to get attached, magnetised or fully glued on is on now. So everything I want to magnetise is magnetised. Basically all I need to do before I start painting now is attach the drop pod and leg section. That's all one bit from that. The waist here to the bottom of the drop pod is all one section. It's not stable at the moment. It's not attached to the base. So that is the one thing I want to get done before I start either painting it or moving on to the Phantom assembly. But otherwise, I don't know why that's in there. It's just a random head that I'm not using. So the two arms are separate. The head comes off, and you've seen all that in previous videos. The torso is magnetised to the legs, and I've shown you that in a previous video. But now I've actually got to the point where the two jetpack shoulder thruster module thingies, they come off as well. So this whole kind of thing that you're looking at now is magnetised for ease of transport and ease of painting as well. these bits over here are pretty much, with the exception of these two. So those two are the a couple of extra thrusters, which just, this is hard doing this on camera, they just fit on the waist like that. Those two are thrusters. Everything else is kind of shoulder plates, basically extra armour plating for the Revenant. So they're not going to be magnetised, they're going to be permanently glued on. And because of the way they sit, there's quite a lot of detail underneath them, and they are quite large and cover, like those cover the legs. So if I glued those on before I painted them, it'd be a pain to paint the leg that's being covered, and I wouldn't be able to get half as much detail as it deserves underneath there. So I'm painting all those separately, and will pin and or glue them onto the model once everything's done. But otherwise, yeah, that's a quick view of the Revenant as it stands. I'm going to add some, once it's firmly attached to the base there, the black base. I'll finish the scenic base off. It won't just be perfectly flat like that. I'll put a lot of dirt being kicked up, and a bit of a trail where the drop pod is skidded in on its crash landing. A lot of dirt kicked up, a bit of extra damage on the drop pod hull there as it's skid through the terrain. Might even put a few wounded marines, or a marine taking a couple of pot shots up at the futilely at the Titan. Could look pretty cool, but we'll see about that. So yeah, that's a full view of the Revenant where we are now. Give me a second. It is quite there we go. With everything on the legs, it is quite fragile until it's secured to that base. But I'll just show you all the pieces as they come off. Again, these magnets, it's tough to do it with one hand. They are. I didn't think they'd be able to hold these jetpack thrusters because they are quite weighty. They're quite big pieces of thrusters. Get off. There you go. So you can see in there where there's a magnet sunk in, and a couple more magnets on the top there. But yeah, that, if you forgive me zooming in a bit whilst I take everything apart, there's a broken down, exploded view of everything that it will come apart into. So you've got, again, the two arms, two thrusters, head, torso, and legs. Eventually that will be just be glued on and attached, so really it will look like that. And these armour pieces will be glued on wherever they need to go, on the shoulders or on the legs. But yeah, that's where I am. So I don't need to do really any more work assembling the Revenant. I'm going to leave that as it is, get it on its base tomorrow morning probably, and then leave that, by which time the Phantom Titan pieces will be dry and ready to work with. I'll dig out the base for this baby and get to work assembling that. And then the plan is, hopefully, I'll have them both assembled so that I can paint them both at the same time in the Mimiara scheme. And hopefully with painting them both at the same time, that'll help to tie them both together. I won't have to mix up the colours twice, like weeks apart. I can mix up one colour, the base colour, and base coat both the Titans, mix up the highlight and highlight both the Titans, and hopefully just have a uniform colour scheme for both of them. So yeah, just hopefully tie everything a little bit, tie everything together a little bit better. So that's your update. Hope you enjoyed, guys. Like I say, next thing to do is a bit of construction work on the Phantom. So there might be a couple of days between this video and the next one, because obviously it's not a quick job. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the updates. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I'll be happy to respond. But thanks for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Cheers.